welcome to Tracy Talks. My sister had requested that I show her how I make my birthday cakes, because I started out years ago doing that kind of 70s birthday cake with the dress with the Barbie on top and you decorate her dress, and then we did like a VeggieTales one with Bob the tomato and Larry the cucumber, and then it just kind of grew from there to where every birthday I try to make a really crazy, wild, fun birthday cake for my kids. So we're having a sleepover party tonight. So I'm kind of have my hair tied back so I don't get hair in the cake. I'm all crashed out in my sweats because I'm going to be baking today and getting the cake together in the house ready for the slumber party for my 13-year-old daughter. And what I'm going to make is a bed cake. It's going to look like a big bed for her slumber party, since slumber means sleeping. So I just want to show you some of my supplies, and then if I learn how to edit videos, I guess I will try to edit in the end as well, so you can see how it comes together. Usually with these shows, I don't do any prep. I just put the stuff on here and I just go. So everything's off the cuff. It's just what I think of to say at the moment, at this exact second that I'm sharing with you. Those are the words that just come in my head and right out of my mouth, which can get me in trouble sometimes. So this is what I have. What I try to do is build a big base, because if you have a big base, it makes the cake even look bigger and more spectacular. So I took 2 of my cutting boards that I got from IKEA, and I covered them with wrapping paper that I got at the dollar store. So that looks really cool. And then if you go to Michael's or any kind of craft store, you can get fondant in different colors, but it only gives you a little bit, and that's not enough to cover a cake. So what you have to do is get a big one of white fondant, and then you can mix in the colors to make more colors with the fondant. Fondant's just kind of like a Play-Doh kind of thing, and it doesn't even taste very good, but it makes your cakes look completely spectacular. It makes them look smooth and amazing. I used fondant for my daughter's Converse birthday. We did Converse sneakers, and they looked fantastic. So it's important, if you want to have something that looks really professional, to use fondant. What you do basically is you roll it out with a rolling pin, and then you lay it over the cake. But you have to remember, after like 30 minutes it dries and it sets, so you want to make sure you have it set just the way you want it before it dries. You can get these at Michael's or at cake decorating stores. I love these like sparkle gel things because they already have the nozzle on there. They're only $2.99, and it's important to make your cake look good to kind of do the edges with this. Like a piping around the edges makes it look really professional. If you pipe the edges of the bottom of your cake, no matter what cake, it makes it look a ton better. Another thing I do is I walk around the store and I look, okay, what kind of cake am I making? What kind of candy or cakes can I use to make the shape I want? So I got these Swiss rolls to make the bedposts, because I thought, well, that's kind of like a bedpost. I can build up the bedpost with these. So I got that. And then my daughter even suggested that I get Rice Krispie treats for the pillows, because I can kind of mold a pillow shape and then fondant that if I like, or ice it. I got Skittles, because I always think it's good that when you have a cake to scatter candy around the bottom. One time I made a Lego cake for my son with big Lego pieces, and I got all of his Legos, and even though they're not edible, I put them all around the bottom of the cake, because sometimes just the base of the cake, around the cake, you can make something really cool, and that makes the cake look better. I got OREO cookies, and I smashed it with his hammer. Actually, my son did it for me. That was fun for him. And another thing you do with your cake to make it really special is you can get something like this. You spread icing in between the 2 cakes, because if you're stacking it, and then put some crushed cookie in it, and that makes it special. Another thing you can do is just get your grape jelly and spread grape jelly on a middle layer. Like what they do with wedding cakes, they have like fruit in the middle. Jelly! Also, lots of times I use Twizzlers. When I did a choo-choo train cake, I used black Twizzlers to make the tracks for like 3 feet and 3 feet behind the cake. So it made the cake look super long and incredible, but really it was just the Twizzlers, on there. So, also, I don't bake cake from scratch. I know, it's horrible. But I just get it from a box. I usually have to use about 4 boxes. If you look at these cakes here, this is 2 boxes of vanilla. And this is 1 box of chocolate and 1 box of chocolate. And what I'll do is I'll put the chocolate on the bottom, the vanilla in the middle, and the chocolate on the top. I might cut off some of this to make some dressers. Like I might knock off some of it, make a little dresser to fondant on the side. And then I just get Betty Crocker. She's my favorite gal. and she makes great icing, and I ice that as well. If you're going to be not using fondant, I suggest getting vanilla icing every time and using food coloring to color different tubs. I always get at least 4 tubs because they make huge cakes. And you can color one green, one red, one yellow, and you can have all the different colors you like with your food coloring. And I guess that is the beginning of the cake process. I also use a bread knife to carve, because you see how this is bumpy? I'm going to carve that out straight, okay? And I'm going to carve that out straight and that out straight. And then with the extras, I can kind of put them together to mold what I want. One time I made a teddy bear cake, and I just cut this in half, and then I stacked it, and I cut that in half, and I stacked it until it was nice and tall, and then I carved out the teddy bear. And I used, I think, Twinkies for the legs coming out, but you couldn't tell once it was covered. So you just kind of have to think like a sculptor, and when you're getting down to sculpting, I use a smaller knife, like a steak knife, to carve even more. And I never know if it's going to come out. I just kind of have an idea in my mind, I just go for it, and I try to make sure nobody's bothering me and it's quiet so I can focus on it. And I just keep adding stuff to make it look better, and it always turns out pretty fun. So I hope this helps you in your cake baking endeavors. And hopefully I can get a second little clip of me fondenting the cake and maybe the finished product, okay? So thanks for listening in to Tracy Talks. I hope you get to make a special cake for your loved one and wow them with your special cake making skills. So thanks a lot and have a great day. And we're going to have a happy birthday over here today, and I'm going to be up late tonight, very tired tomorrow. Yes, that's part of being a mother. So take care. Okay, here's the cake iced with chocolate, and we have cookie crumbs on top, OREO cookie crumbs, and I'm about to place this white cake on top of it. Okay, I have the chocolate on the bottom, the cookies in the middle with the icing, and then I iced the vanilla cake on top. Just, by the way, this cake isn't extremely difficult since it is a big square, but this is where we're at this step. So I'm rolling out the fondant to make the bed skirt for the bed. And so far, I have a little bit of it on. The cool thing about fondant is you can kind of make it billowy so it looks like a bed skirt. So I cut the third cake and I put it on the back so it looks kind of like a headboard. So now I have a headboard there that's sticking with the icing, and I have the bottom of the bed skirt done. Okay, so what I did is I took some red fondant, white fondant, twisted it together, rolled it out with a rolling pin, and it came up with like a tie-dye bedspread for the bed. Now what I'm going to do is if you take hot cocoa and you mix it with the white fondant and then roll it out, it looks kind of like either a leather or a wood, and I'm going to do that for the headboard. And then I'll work on the pillows, which I'll mold out of the Rice Krispie treats and cover with white fondant. There you go. And then for the final product, we have the birthday cake. We've got tie-dye bedspread, Skittles on the bottom, we've got a wooden backboard, pillows, candles, and there you go. I used the same wrapping paper the other side to cover the table from the dollar store. And there we have her birthday cake. Happy birthday. Dad? Happy birthday!